Yeah, it's going down, man. It's Donnie Houston podcast. I'm Donnie Houston. Check it out, man. We got a very special guest today, man. We just had Bryan-Michael Cox on the show, and he mentioned that his homeboy Shawn, you know what I'm saying, was one of those people that was in his crew, you know what I mean, that he been down with growing up, you know what I mean, and now they moving in a professional way. And I got him here today, man, just to talk about, you know, his role, man, in management and just everything that he has going on, man. So what's going down, Shawn Stovall?
Man, Donnie, I appreciate you having me, brother. Crazy, like that day y'all did the interview. I took a picture of you and Brian, and I posted it, and my little cousin was like, "Man, like Donnie got the hardest podcast in Houston right now." So just a couple weeks later, I'm proud to be here. I'm happy to be here. I mean, I guess out in the scene, I'm a face that people are familiar with, but people probably don't know what I do and just this, that, and the third. And like musical wise, like I'm not a encyclopedia like you and Brian, or like I saw you the other day for like Jay-Z birthday. You was like his whole birthday, his pimp birthday, and it's the same day that the Fix came out. Like I love the Fix, but I'm like I wouldn't have remembered that was the day. So you definitely you and Brian are definitely encyclopedias to the game. So with that, I'm just so I just think, but coming from like my standpoint, helping people that's not musically inclined, like that, but you still want to see about the business and learn the business. Like, that's kind of where, my side is coming in at, my blessings and, just being able to, be around and, live it.
Yeah. So, man, how y'all been handling everything in the pandemic, man?
Ooh.
Because I mean, you working with you know what I mean? It's just a lot on hold right now, man.
Well, I mean, we slowly, like I think that's a conversation. That's a government conversation, like just seeing how the government handled it, but I can remember the pandemic actually, it went a hard lockdown March 13th. That was a Friday because I remember, I'm part of Bow Wow's team as well, the whole So Def family. So I was actually on the Millennium Tour the weekend before. So that weekend was New York, Philly, and VA, / DC. So I was on that weekend run, and that Monday was Bow's birthday, and we stayed in DC and we did a party, and we flew back to Atlanta on like that Tuesday, and like Friday was a hard shutdown. So it was like, man, so at first it was cool because like so much travel, so much wear and tear on your body, and then like it was like, oh, this shit is real, you know what I'm saying? And so, but like now, it's slowly starting to open back up. You slowly starting to kind of figure out. I feel like you got to figure it out on your own at this point. Like the government, like I'm currently in Atlanta, so like the governor of Georgia sued the mayor of Atlanta, over mask. So it's like when you see that, you like, man, this shit is a shit show. Like I got to do what's best for me. So like wearing our masks, still going out. People like, oh my God, y'all go out, but like we get paid to go out. You know what I'm saying? So like you want us to like not, you know what I'm saying? Like we have to. For the longest, me and Brian like, yo, we not going nowhere. But like, what do you do if you don't
At
go
some
nowhere?
point, yeah.
At some point, you gotta. And for me, like I don't stay with nobody. You know what I'm saying? So like, if I get sick, I get sick. You know what I'm saying? I gotta, and I go get tested regularly. Same way with Brian. We just do, we just do what we got to do. Especially like with Brian going in the studios, he has to constantly, get tested for whatever sessions he's in. Same thing with Bow. Like Bow kind of shot like the whole growing up hip hop. He shot that pretty much through the pandemic. So they kept taking their tests. So I mean, it's been a slow grind, but it's still been, But when it first started, it was. I mean, I could be transparent. It was some nights that was like, damn, this shit is wild. Like, cause you went from, doing this, doing that, to where like, damn, we don't know what the fuck we gonna do. Like, how's this gonna play out? You know what I'm saying? So it was some dark nights, but, prayed up, you cried about it, get up and shit, figure that shit out. So now we back to figuring it out. But, I was very much one at first to be like, man, don't go nowhere. Y'all shouldn't go nowhere. But I'm thinking in my mind, like, yo, if we all sit down, we can all get back right. But then it's like, that shit ain't working. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean, I've been blessed. Every test I've taken, I've come back negative. So, I just hope to continue to do so. And, I'll get a test like next week. Like, well, no, actually, I'm gonna get a test when I get back. I gotta go back to Atlanta tomorrow, and I'll be back for Christmas next week. So, I expect to take like 2 more tests between now and Christmas. So,
already. But yeah, man. Aside from all that though, we can just take it a little back because I mean we're talking off air and just like you're a few years older than me, but we're still in that window of that era. You know what I mean? Of
Oh
just
yeah.
of the city when it was the city. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
man. Like I think not to cut you off, but I mean that's what I love about your show. Like your show is very informative. You know what I'm saying? Like you showing us kind of what we've already known, but it's showing us like the behind the scenes of something that we don't know. So like my background story, like whoever saw the Bryan-Michael Cox episode, me and Brian went to Welch together. So that's kind of. But I guess bring it back a little bit. I was born in New York. Um, then my mom ended up getting married. We ended up having to go to California for a minute because he was in the service or whatever, and that didn't work out. We was in 29 Palms, like Marines base, and her and that dude didn't work out. So she ended up getting with my sister and brother's dad. I love my sister and brother to death, but they could have left the daddy where he was at.
yeah,
But anyway, so end up leaving California. So she don't know where we're going. Like we're from Long Island, New York. He's from Cleveland. So she's like, yo, we just getting out of here. So we got like a U-Haul and like boom. So we just shipped. And so now her favorite cousin actually lived in Houston. So like that's like the first stop. And it was like, okay, cool. She liked it. The cost of living was good. Like, okay, cool. So we figured out. So then that was on the Southwest in
what year is this y'all making to the Southwest?
91.
Okay.
So that's when I go to Welch, and that's Farrington Park, like right there, like off of like Gessner and all of that.
Yeah.
So no, I'm sorry, actually it's off of Farrington. So like Farrington and West Airport, you got Fond Meadow. You go a little bit further, it's Farrington Park, right before you get to Maine. So that put me at Welch. So that puts me at Welch, and then from there, that's where I meet like B Cox and Crazy. Who else was at Welch with us? I think Welch was still light at that point because Beyonce did go to Welch, but my Beyonce situation is at Westbury. But she never went to Westbury, but like, Lyndall, her boyfriend or whatever, he went to Westbury. So we'll get to that in a second. But then so Welch, then we transitioned on to Westbury. I didn't want to go to Westbury, to be honest with you. A childhood friend of mine, Nick, went to Welch. His dad lived in Briargate, so that was like the Willie Ridge situation. I was like, man, Willie Ridge got them badass girls.
Yeah.
I want to go to Willie Ridge. Mom was like, I'm not taking you. I'm not going to be
Driving
responsible.
way over there. Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be responsible for that. Like, if you and Nick fall out, then what happens? Like, whatever. So I was like, all right. So I got accepted to like Yates. Like, they like, you got to be on a bus at 5 a.m. I'm not doing that. So now I'm stuck at Westbury. So now I go to Westbury and like 94, 95, so I graduated in 98. So like I think for me that process of like I want to say like a 6-year span between like 96 to like 01, 02, like I was telling you off air, like you had like the 17-5A, which is a school district or whatever, like Westbury. So we got like Do You 100, which is rapper out the West. Rest in peace, Clack. That's Lil Richard. Truck went there, like when you had your interview with Truck, Truck and his big brother Nino Nelson. You had like sports wise, Westbury had like the number. We had like
It was big in track and all that, right?
So we had like the national champion track team. So you had the national championship track team. You had Benny Brazil who ran track. He ended up going to the Olympics. He ended up, I think, playing for the Bills for a minute. So that's Westbury. Then you flip. Oh, you had Popovich. You flip to, like you say, you want to go to Sharpstown. So you had Joseph Adai. You had Touche Harvey. You go to Bel Air, you got Lil Lucas. You got Emeka Okafor. You go over to Madison. Before your days, you had Moran Norris. You had, Will Turner. You had Dafford. Then y'all end up with VY and Courtney. Then you flip over to A-Leaf. You had Rashard Lewis, the homie, same year I graduated. Actually, Rashard done put Westbury out the playoffs that year. Then you want to fast forward a little bit, you go over to other tracks over there, Mo City, you got TJ Ford and them. So like they just in that time it was just, like so much going on. Then you also that's gonna bring me back to like my Beyonce situation.
Sidebar, you also got these teen clubs and all. It's like
what?
it's a scene for us.
Man,
you know what I mean?
okay,
like I don't know if y'all got it like this now.
Okay,
the kids that's now, but
that's where I'm going. Okay, so my freshman year at Westbury, Beyonce boyfriend Lyndall is like a sophomore or whatever. So like, they used to promote like the team parties, like, you know, my girlfriend gonna be at my girlfriend performing, and we used to hate this shit, to be honest, because like that's when we like do all that dry humping in the club. You be in the club dry humping, like you gotta stop, you gotta let
Let the
Linda's
people pay it.
girlfriend,
Yeah,
you gotta let Linda's girlfriend perform, but you like, but at that point, you know, we not like, but it's really who this, cause like I forgot homie name, but like one of Linda homeboys, his mama had a minivan. So you really do think that shit ain't cool. But for us in that moment it was, because nigga, everybody could pile up. So like, I can literally remember getting in there like Beyonce in the back. I'm in the same, you know what I'm saying? We in the whip, blah blah blah. She in the back with Linda, all that type of shit. So it's like, damn. And then so then Latoya, you know, she from over here, y'all hood. So Latoya's like best friends on her same street went to Welch, and that's like my ex-girlfriend from Welch or whatever. So it just like, you know, so, and I think in that time it was like we were all kind of like on some celebrity shit, because like everybody was who they were, but it was like on some regular cool shit, you know what I'm saying?
Are you just more so on some cool kid shit, or are you in the sports? Like, what you doing
Nah,
at this
I wasn't.
time? Just on the scene.
I
in
was
the
on the
mix.
scene. It's crazy. So like, so saying that, so like all my best friends played sports. So like my best friend Carl was a starting point guard for Westbury. His cousin, which is my other best friend Dave, he played basketball. Then like Dron, Calvin, Corey, they all played football. So I was always around sports, but that shit wasn't for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I did like little league, I did like YMCA, but anything like school indoors, like that wasn't for me. But I was always around it, so like I was always in an environment of like I was on some cool shit, you know. And back then, like nowadays niggas want to kill each other. Back then we used to fight. Like, you know, it was Westbury versus Madison. It was, you know, like we had problems with North Shore at one point. Westbury versus North Shore. It was Westbury versus Lamar. Like we always had these different, but it was like, it was fun. It was like you would fight, but it was like, all right, cool, we going home. It wasn't never like, oh, somebody got shot, but we might fight every week. You know what I'm saying? But it was still like a fight. Like we win, we lose. Like I remember a nigga from North Shore snuck me outside of Metropolis one night, thought I was somebody else. Like all I knew was like, yo, just don't hit this ground. Like nigga he caught me with a cool little boom. I hit that ground like that and just bounced my body up. Like, and after that, he took off running. So then next week, guess what we did? Came to Metropolis, 100 deep. And
that's just how it was though.
yeah, like it was just like, you know, it was just that, you know. And I remember like even like some stuff with Elkins. It was like, you know, it's always just been, but it was like little shit. So it's like, so for me being involved with that, like I was never, because my friends were always in this shit, like I was never running from fights. I had to run to the fight. Like, oh shit, my nigga might be over here fighting, you know what I'm saying? So, and you gotta think, when I first went to Westbury, like it was Weekbury. So with it being Weekbury, like we had to kind of like overcompensate to make ourselves be like, oh shit, like we ain't weak. So, you know, we would go over and beyond. So just with that, like, you know, just so people that you've had on here, like I say, Truck, you know, went to school with him. So just watch his transition to where he, you know, became, you know, like that was Nelson, Nino, little brother. So just to watch his transition was, you know, a blessing. And so, and we all grew up in that same, like he greenhouse patio, I'm across the street in Copper Tree, right there, the corner store. So it was like, you know, all of that, and just growing up in, you know, that mixture. So it kind of gives you like several different, you know, views on life. And then so from there, me and Brian are already friends from Welch. But then, you know, like as we get older, we kind of just like lose contact. So from there, that's what my relationship comes into actually starting to do this. Like I've only had two types of jobs in my life: either work with at youth risk, at risk youth. Yeah, at risk youth. I'm sorry. This is my first interview, so I'm kind of, but yeah, at risk youth, and then working in music. So, you know, and so it was Max's off of Augusta. Like if you going down Westheimer, right there where that Valero is now, it's a little side street right there by the Jason's Deli. It was old school Max's. And I was in there one night. It had to been October, November. And so I saw Brian that bitch with a mink on. He had like the bottles and like just,
he on his shit.
But mind you, I'm not in music like that. So like I'm hearing Bryan-Michael Cox. I'm hearing Brian Cox, but I'm not putting two. I'm like, I got a partner named Brian, but I ain't seen him in a minute. But so I see him in the club, and he just boom boom. I'm like, yo, what's up? He's like, man, I'm in Atlanta right now. I'm in it, but you know, you in the club, so you ain't doing all of that talking like that. But it's a genuine what's up, because we friends. So it's genuine relationship. We're like, oh, boom, like hit me up, boom. So we don't know at that point that our birthdays are 2 days apart. So it's like I talked to him, we talked. He's like, man, I want to do something at the crib. Like, help me do it. I was like, all right. So like I had never been to like on some like go to the club type shit. Like, let me go to the club and like let me go and just meet. So like I literally like at that point went to Visions, and I met
Man, boy, you bringing back some clubs, boy.
yeah, like that's what I say. Like when you do all of that, bro, like this shit now, I'd be like, nigga, I could stay at home because like
Yeah.
when I say we've done it, like we've done
And see,
M-Bar.
Visions, this is when downtown, like that downtown
What?
party scene, bro, that was an era, man.
Bro, like when I say on my mama, like we used to like switch our schedule to like come on for M-Bar. Like nigga on a Thursday, like Lisa Rogers, Steve Rogers, Russ Corley, like Milkshake Thursday, like we used to switch our schedule, bro. Like we was like, yo, it wasn't no promotion, it wasn't no fucking celebrity host, it was just a vibe. So again, so for the birthday, I meet the dude Eves and DeAndre Bird. So now, mind you, Visions here is tied into Visions Atlanta at that point. So DeAndre is familiar with Bryan already because Bryan is doing what he's doing out there. So they're like, oh yeah, we definitely want to do the party with whoop. So like I put together a whole weekend. So we did like M-Bar, we did like Visions, and that's like when Hush first got started. And that's like another story that I bring up, my relationship with Hush or whatever. But so we did like the whole weekend. And then like Monday, like, yo, come by the house. So, he's like, just come by the house and come holler at me. I was like, all right, cool. I went by the house. He had a check for me. I was like, he's like, I just appreciate you doing everything for me. And he gave me a check. He's like, yo, I want you to come work with me. And at that point, I was more or less like a personal assistant. So that's what started it. And then, time transition, brotherhood, like we didn't always see eye to eye. Like, and like, we talked about, that was a big thing about like, having some people around you. It became like, I wasn't really feeling it. Like even like you said, like Shawn tried to tell me, like, so I tried to tell him certain things. I'd be like,
So even though these other cats were from Houston, did you know these other cats from the H, or this was just Bryan's partners and shit?
Nah, I knew. I know some of them because like we went to middle school together. So like we know each other some from middle school but like my thing, and I think for Bryan, I'm very protective of him as my brother because Bryan hasn't had to live like the life that I kind of live. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like, it ain't no bragging, like, but I've dibbled and dabbled and I've, you know what I'm saying? So my eyes are a little bit more keen to certain shit. You know what I'm saying? Bryan kind of wants to see the best out of everybody. Maybe now he's more or less, but like when, it's like when you first get started, like, you want your niggas around you. You know what I'm saying? Like I still gloat about having my best friends around me because to this day, some of my best friends are still, but some of them aren't. You know what I'm saying? Like you just have to learn to deal with, what's best. And you can also have best friends but not work with your best friends. You know what I'm saying? Like I can have people that, like some of my homeboys, they married. So nigga, I don't call you when it's time to go out. You know what I'm saying? I got one of my best friends, I talk to him about stocks and shit like that and just different shit, but we don't talk about some other shit because you're married. So but so it's like you gotta kind of learn how to put. But when you in your 20s, like everybody want to be there for the turn up. And at that point, I was like, I've seen some things like I don't want to put everybody business, but like I just as a man, like some shit as a man, like I'm not waiting for another man to feed me. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just shit like that. I was like, yeah, nah. So we took a break or whatever for a minute, and like I was still finding my way. So that's kind of where like the dirty ENT thing comes in at. So like a lot of people, cause like I guess because me and Bryan were friends, they really didn't know like what our connection was. So when they started seeing me like rocking with dirty ENT, they like, oh well, they started affiliating me with that, solely. But that came. I just think a lot of this comes from relationships. So that
But how do you even link up with Dirty ENT though? Because that's St. Louis and
yeah. So relationships. It was crazy because, again, I'm prime time South Side. I'm prime time. Like we don't fuck with nobody on the North Side. None of that shit. Like my best friend Corey, his ex-girlfriend went to Eisenhower. My best friend Carl, Dave, Jason, their cousin goes to Eisenhower at that point. So they keep telling about this Slim Thug. Man, I ain't never heard of Slim Thug. He be jamming. Man,
we don't listen to that over here.
We don't fuck with that North Side shit. Don't get the fuck away from me with that North. Man, we don't go fuck with. So that's that. You know what I'm saying? So
that's just how it was then. If anybody watching,
I got nothing but respect for Slim. I love how Boss Life move. Rico, Dre, Milton. When Dre welcome home, when Dre was gone, they held it down. Like I like how they move as a team. For me, nothing works without a team. So, but in that moment, that's what we was projected as in 98, 99. Like, You know, they come over, they steal our shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fuck niggas on the south side too. So, but we were just programmed.
This just was the narrative at the time.
It was a narrative.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was like, you know, but I meet Paul Wall, you know, but at this time, Paul is only doing street team for Swisher House. So, you know, white boy braids, but he cool though. It ain't never no beef. It ain't never no. And the crazy story, him and Chameleon, just joking, you know, just joking. Man, I don't know I can't remember the story. I don't know why it happened. I don't know how it happened. But Paul and Chameleon had a fight outside of just joking. And I did never forget, like, Paul beating the fuck out this nigga. And Paul, like, started telling the nigga, eat the bumper, bitch, eat the bumper.
No shit.
He literally, like, hitting the nigga face against the bumper. And he just, like, whooping the nigga, talking to him. I'm like, okay. Okay, I see you, homie. And that's, you know what I'm saying? So then, one night, we in Metropolis, down the street. We in Metropolis. It was Thanksgiving night, whatever year it was. You and Brian, y'all good with years. I sipped too much syrup at one point. I forgot that. But anyway, we outside of Metropolis, and I couldn't get in. So me and Paul talked for like 2 hours, just out there just talking. You know what I'm saying? Just on some cool shit. Didn't know him, didn't know me, but we knew each other's faces. So fast forward, he finally get on the tape. He like, man, Shawn, listen. He said, I'm on it. I'm like, you know, out of respect for my homie, I'm like, all right, cool. Now, mind you, I'm working at like at a office like packaging place, like off of 290. So that's damn near north side. So, you know, I gotta hear that shit at work all the time, like, cause you know, like we all young, but we all like, they knew about like packaging shit. That's like early. That's like college days for me. So it's real early. So I finally listened to it. So I'm like, okay. So I'm hearing this nigga Slim in the warehouse. I'm like, okay, this nigga got some go. I'm like, all right, but I'm still got a like low key Southside shit. Yeah, we ain't fucking with it, but I can hear he got some go in him. So I listen to Paul. I'm like, all right, cool. So now here we go to Dirty NT. So me and Brian land one day in Atlanta, and so we driving. Well, you know, we driving whatever. And so Jermaine called. I don't know the conversation, but him and Jermaine are talking, and so he's like, oh, okay, bet. He's like. So he hang the phone, he's like, yo, Paul in town. He's like, he at the studio doing a song. I was like, all right. So I called Goo. I'm like, Goo, you in town? He's like, nah. He say, Paul only got to do a verse and a hook. So he went by himself. He coming right back tomorrow. Like, all right, cool. So I called Paul. I'm like, yo, boom, boom. He's like, yeah, baby. You know, Paul, you know, he just, you know, he happy. Just, yeah,
he always on the
up.
up.
You know, yeah. He's like, man, stop by the store, you know, get some utensils. You know, I brought it with me. I like, shit, I bet. I go to the store, get what we got to get. So we go to the studio. So I think that's one of the things about like So Def. It's because it's a private studio, so it's not, you know what I'm saying, like, so it's like you gotta be who you are to get this, but it's like it's a big situation. Like you got the gym, you got the full court gym, you got the game room, he actually got a club in there, like a real club. So
is this club like y'all be in there partying type shit or no shit?
Man, oh yeah, absolutely. I'll show you some shit offline, but I mean, it's absolutely like something like it's a whole. I mean, it's Jermaine Dupri. It's like, you know, when you
having it his way in there.
Yeah, you know, like when you got at one point you got the freeway. I mean, you got on the freeway in Atlanta to go to the city from the airport. You know, home of So Def. So like he had everything. Like he never had to leave the studio. He actually has bedrooms in there. Like at one point I saw Janet Jackson come out the bedroom. I'm like, you know, a lot of times you like, I don't get starstruck, but nigga, this is Janet fucking Jackson. Like,
did you say anything or you just kept it playing?
Because I'm still too new. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't really. Like I'm still, because I'm a friend of a friend. Like now I'm on my own. Now I can say, hey, JD, open the door, or you know. But at that point, I'm just a friend of a friend. So but I'm like, nigga, that's like Miss Jackson. Like, you know, when you first meet Mariah, you like, damn, that's like Mariah. You know what I'm saying? So as time progressed, and that's like a lot of times, like they don't. That's why some of that shit be like private, because it's like we don't want you starstruck. Like you come to this motherfucker, we all family, and that's what it took to get to that point. So I had to work my way up, but. So yeah, I get there, boom, you know, Paul in there, you know, and at that point I didn't know they called Nelly Mo. So they like Mo in there, and you know, Saint Lunatics in there. Everybody just boom, boom, boom. Usher there that day. Everybody just bouncing around, boom, boom, boom. You got the serve going, you got everything just boom, flowing. And so
was boys down there fucking with the serve, or they just left there for y'all?
Oh no, that day, like that. Only person that didn't that day was Nelly. Like Nelly, like y'all got it, but like Jermaine missed the flight the next morning, like, you know, because you know, it's just like that's what I'm saying. And in that moment, in that era, like just the vibe and the taste, like Activist was the taste. It was like man, so we had it, and you know, Paul and everybody just boom, boom, boom. So niggas was like just going up, you know what I'm saying? You in there playing the game, niggas in there gambling the game, and just the vibe was right. And so I started playing Madden or whatever. We started gambling, and like I'm still like I'm young, so I'm like I'm in the Madden. Like y'all niggas ain't finna beat me. Like y'all on some celebrity shit, but you know what I'm saying? Like y'all don't play it like for real. So I just started whooping niggas, boom, 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 taking money, taking money. Like I don't even have enough money to bet what I need to be betting to really make some money. I'm like, yo, Brian, and back then it wasn't Cash App, it wasn't PayPal. It was like I gotta go to the bank. So I'm whooping niggas. So they just kept saying Mo, we gonna put Mo, we gonna put Mo. I'm like, I don't give a fuck who y'all put. So they like, so I finally beat everybody, and now it's Mo turn, and Mo sits down, and that's Nelly. So I'm like, okay, I whooped him too. Okay, so but it just the vibe was so cool. So they was like, man, where you from? So you understand, like St. Louis, when they start migrating out of St. Louis, like they normally come to Texas, like like so they had like one of their best friends at TSU. They normally migrate to Dallas because Atlanta's kind of further down. So like they come through. It's like, man, we got homies. So like y'all cool as shit with whoop. So I just got cool with them. So I got cool with like at that point Nelly's manager T Love, and so it was like it became like just a real like a family situation. So it was like I kind of like was more or less of an intern, like what I'm saying, like it wasn't really never no money. Like I would make money, but it was never like nothing. But they kind of, and because at that point before social media, you had to know somebody. Like you couldn't just like, oh, we want to book you, so you had to actually go through somebody. So like when Nelly did VY weekend, Keith hollered at me, you know what I'm saying? And like that's around Super Bowl and All-Star when it was in Atlanta. I mean, I'm not Atlanta, in Dallas and Houston. So like everybody from Dallas like, oh, y'all can call Shawn down in Houston and get Nelly. Cause that's like around Grill. So that's like when he, the shit popping. And like as host wise, him being a host, like, he gonna perform, he gonna give you like just that vibe. So it was just a great vibe. So that was just my connection with them. So like whenever they come to town, like I was the homie, boom, 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 which I'm still a homie, I'll take that. But, at that point it was like, it just kind of put me in, I guess, in a different tier because like, okay, cool, now these promoters, now they gotta start coming to see me. You know what I'm saying? They gotta start. So like that's what that was. So, so that's kind of put me, and that's what made me start looking at like how managers move. Like that's what I do now. I look at who is who and how do you move versus like what's going on in the environment. So that's what made me like start opening my eyes and saying, okay, well, this is what you need to be doing when you do like a hosting, or like when the client's doing a hosting. Well, now I need to make sure this, because people look at this shit like, oh, we just going to the club. Like it's so much more to it. You know what I'm saying? There's so much. I got to make sure the car service is straight. I got to make sure this is what the client wants. You know what I'm saying? Do you, like, some people not riding in fucking regular sprinters. Like I need my shit to be, executive. I need captain seats. Like I don't want the fucking rows. Like I don't want that. So you gotta know that. You gotta be prepared to deal with like everything under the sun. You gotta make sure the money is right quick. You know what I'm saying? You dealing with 50,000. I gotta be able to count 25,000 quick. You know what I'm saying? Woo, and make sure, okay, cool, money, boom, boom, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure everything, the guest list is straight. How many guests, this, that, and the third. You gotta just, so people think going to the club is like, I mean, it's fun, but it's still like, it's technically a job. So I tell motherfuckers now, like, yo, if you coming with us, like, we're going to work. So if you're coming with us, like, you got one job, and your one job is to be on time. You get in for free, you drinking for free, you limelight for free. You got just be there, stay on time.
Yeah.
Like that's what like it irks me. Like whether it's males or females, like I'm like if you don't be on time, because I'm one person, so everybody's looking at me for different shit. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody looking at me, hey, oh, we need this, we need that, we need this. Like riders, like I need this amount of waters, I need this, I need that, I need that. Like so, you got one job. If you come in as a guest and is no financial gain out of this for you, or for me to deal with you, you got to be on time. Unless it's like specific, like yo, I need that person straight. All right, cool. But then you got one job, be on time. If you ain't on time, pay to get in, wait in line. I don't want to be an asshole, but you have one job.
It is. Yeah. So okay, I mean, above that though, but when does it start to? I mean, at this time, because you said that you started out one way with B Cox, but then it starts to transition to an even more serious role.
Because as time progresses, people just start going their own separate ways. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, like what I do, it's not it's for the love, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and it's different. I mean, I get paid and I get paid, you know, pretty good or whatever. But it's like, if I fuck with you, I fuck with you. That's why I can't fuck with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like everything isn't about $1. So like me and Brian are genuinely friends. Brian is a genuinely good person. You know what I'm saying? So you need somebody around that's gonna be genuinely good and be like, yo, this is this, this is this. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I'm not a road manager for Brian, because Brian isn't on the road, but like day to day. So it's like, you know, like you remember that song when T.I. said, he's like, if I don't have Hannah, Clay, or Jay around, it's gonna be a bad day. Like that's his crew. Like that's Hannah Kane, that's Jay Jeter, and that's Clay. You know what I'm saying? Like that's his management team. So it's like that's the same thing for like when Mike Tyson did an interview with Boosie, and Mike was like, you know, asking about his management, and he was like, they know more about you than you know about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because like that's my job. Like I know, yo, Cox, you got an interview, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like just so Brian just needed that. You know what I'm saying? Like you need it, because it's like it's not the fact that it's your fault, but some stuff will fall through the cracks because nigga, I'm doing 100 things at once. Like I might get a call right now. Hey man, Usher wants to come work. You know what I'm saying? As far as he wants you to go to work. So now you've forgotten about these other, you know what I'm saying, other things.
You're in work mode.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now it's like, so you need that. You need somebody that's gonna be able to, put that in structure for you. So that's my job, is like structure wise. I think that's just what, I kind of cultivate too. Like, because I went to PV, I went to TSU too, but I'm always claiming PV more. So you gotta think like I went to PV, so I'm college educated. You know what I'm saying? Again, I went to Westbury. I done dibbled and dabbled in different street shit. So like my mind goes several different places. But at the end of the day, like, yo, like let's get this shit done. And I'm very much a team player. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to never gloat like I haven't done no fucked up shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say I haven't done anything wrong. But, like I actually try to do my best to like be good and be right. You do right by people, it's gonna get done right back. So it just structure wise. So that's what kind of brought me to that, to that place.
But I mean, even in that though, because I mean, you're in the so-so deaf camp and all that. Talk about when it actually turns into you and Bao kind of moving professionally. You know what I'm saying?
So again,
because this is two different people. You know what I mean? Brian B. Cox is definitely, he's older and his personality is more mild mannered. You know what I'm saying? And you got Bao, who I've never met Bao. Well, I met Bao Wow one time at 106 when I went, but he seems to just be a little bit more turned up.
Oh, about to say, even meeting him in 106 is way different than meeting him outside of work, because that was work for him.
Yeah.
Again, like, you just moving around, like, you in the building at this point, you know what I'm saying? Because, at one point, Jermaine and Bao wasn't really speaking. Like, when he was over at, when Bao was at Cash Money, you know what I'm saying? Like, him and Jermaine had a riff. And, and it's funny because, like, all they do is argue, like, because it's a real father and son situation. Like, that's his pops. Like, that's what we consider his pops. So, that's what, so when I first come around, like I don't really see Bao a lot, but then, Bao starts coming back around, and so like, we all just cool, we all family or whatever. So, I'm moving with Brian every day. I'm, at the studio with Brian every day. So we get cool or whatever, and it's just like, it just starts to, it's organic. It's nothing forced. It's nothing like, yo, I want to do this, and it starts being like, yo, I start getting the calls like, yo, I want you to come with me. You know what I'm saying? Can you come with me? I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? So, it just becomes organic, and so I definitely, anybody that follows me on social media, like, I definitely call Bao Wild Child. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely, but I also think he gets a very bad rap. You know what I'm saying? But that's what the world is now as far as social media, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I can't speak for white people. I don't know how they do it, but like, I don't know if the white people actually like kind of shit on their legends. I don't know if they do or don't, but I know for us,
black folks will turn their back on you
quick.
Quick.
And one thing I always tell about all the time is like you are the cheat code, because he's the cheat code. Like Bao's about to be, I want to say 34 in March. So any woman from like, let's say 30 to like 36, like that was their first boyfriend. Like, you know what I'm saying? In their mind, like that was their first boyfriend. Fucking, CDs and going to whatever them tours. What was it back then? It wasn't Millennium. It was Scream.
Scream, yeah.
Scream tours. Like, so, he's a cheat code. So like, to this day, he still gets that same love. It just but like social media. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie. He does his own shit. Some of it's self-inflicted, and we talk about it offline. I'm never gonna be online talking about, like, that's not my thing. So we talk about some shit he does, behind closed doors. Anybody that knows me know I'm not gonna let shit slide. Like, I'm be like, yo, you tripping, bro. But even with him, it's just like, because for him it is more road work. It is more like with Brian, I don't have to, like, I might not, Brian, we have to just do work. Like, but for Bow, I gotta travel. Like, I gotta get up and we gotta hit 4 cities in 4 days. I might have to even hit 5 cities in 4 days. We might have to do something during the day and then be somewhere else that night. So that's like real, that part comes in. So that's when it comes into travel and making sure the flights is straight. Or you might get a 4 a.m. call like, yo, bro, I want to do this. Or, yo, bro, I want to stay tonight. So now we gotta flip it. We gotta flip our travel. So it's just like when you do that and somebody, in trust, and you actually travel together. Like, people don't realize, like, look what we going through now. Like, people are actually dying out here. Like, Boosie got shot with his crew. You know what I'm saying? Like, T.I. got shot, rest in peace. What was his best, whatever his, Phil, yeah, right. Rest in peace, Phil. You know what I'm saying? So like, when you on the road, like, you don't ever know if you coming home or not. So like, you really got to have a bond with your people, and you gotta trust, and everybody gotta like do their part. You know what I'm saying? As long as you do your part, okay, cool. I was like, okay, cool, Shawn, you do that, homie, you do this. Security, you do that. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta be prepared for whatever. You know what I'm saying? If we all gotta play security, we all gotta play security. You know what I'm saying? So like, we did that last year, Essence. When they did a 20-year 25-year So death, because when they did 20 years, luckily I was at that concert. That's the last.
That was
concert.
The one in Atlanta, right? I remember seeing that.
That's the last one before one of the Chris's passed away. Mm-hmm. So that was 20. I was there for that, but then 25 was at Essence. And like I say, even playing security, like Nelly, like they had the security to walk us to like the little seats or whatever to watch the rest of the show. But Nelly ended up staying back. So now it's no more security back there. So Nelly got his one security guard. So you think of having to actually have to walk through like the Superdome with one security guard to get to like that wouldn't. So I literally I had to play security that day. So like literally like, yo, damn, what's Brian? I want to say I'm whatever. But anyway, security in the front, I'm in the back. Nelly in the middle. So like, you literally any given day you just play. You gotta just play your part. Like, there's no I in team. So whatever it takes to get the job done, that's what I look at it as. So shit, fuck it. I gotta stand behind. So people like, oh, they run up to him and like, we just can't. I don't want to be rude, but we just can't do that right now. So that's just like, it's just like, it's a it's just so like whatever it takes to make the shit happen for me. And like, I think that's what, like I said earlier, it's like, I'm not into music like that. Like, I'm not, like, I can't tell you nothing about nothing. Like, I like what I like, but I don't know. But like, when it comes to business and, that's what I specialize in, and that's what I kind of work. And I'm like, I'm able to say, hey, okay, cool, we got to do this, this, and this. And I'm very, like, even like when it comes to work, like when you and Brian do Hinky and Pilot, like, yo, what time is Cox set? Boom, okay, cool. Like, yo, Cox, we got, like, I'm very much like,
that's this is a fact. Shawn be on the job, man. Like, he talk about going to the club. Shawn don't be in there partying, man. It's straight work. Every time, if I'm spinning, I look up, Shawn is in there moving around, doing something.
Yeah, I mean, because for me, it's still work. That's why, like, I have a drink. Like, I'm a very much a social drinker, but I'm not like an avid drinker. Like, I got 50 bottles at home, but I don't drink. Like, I'm not sitting in my house by myself drinking. So, but even when I'm out, like, I never. So it's like, but because it's like, it's always something to be done. Like, yo, let me make sure this is straight. Let me make sure that is straight. Like, it's always, and so like, even like a girl I talked to, she was like, you always trying to run something. You're not at work. You're off. Like, don't try to run stuff. I'm like, that's just, it's what I know is like just making sure, because for me, I know I'm gonna make sure shit's straight. Like, I know, hey, we gotta fly here. We gotta do this. Where we gonna stay? What we gonna do? Like, not even make reservations for dinner. Shit like that. It's just kind of like what's in me. So it's like, for people that want to get into music, like learn the craft, learn this and learn that, but also just, it has to be certain things. And that's another thing, like with management, like you got, like I said before, like you just gotta know who you are. And like with management, especially like you asked me a question last night on Clubhouse. I'm not gonna lie to you, like when I came in, I never came in from the ground, so I don't know like what the ground hustle feels like. I don't. But so it's, I'm literally dealing with like two multi-millionaire, clients, and as well as, I'm a moonlight with whoever. Like, okay, cool. Like, you the homie. All right, cool. You got this going on. Okay, cool. You going to here. You going to there. All right. Let me see if I can get you booked. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me see, because that's just relationships. Like that's what. But I think like when you find the right people in your clique, because like you don't want to be like just like the homie. I don't want to just sit up here and be like, oh, I'm waiting on B Cox. Like the first time I went to Mr. Childs was with Brian, but because and like if you know about Mr. Childs, like they don't even bring you menus out. They just like what you want, because you're supposed to know at the top of your head. I'm like, okay, so I learned from that. So I'm like, nah, I want to go by myself. Like, and if people think it's crazy because I go out to eat by myself all the time, but for me, that's my downtime. Like I don't have to worry about, because that's another thing about a life with being management. Like I have to really live other people's lives. So when Brian having a bad day, I got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? We all know Bow have his days. So that's why even like down to girlfriends, like I can admit it, like when Bow was with that girl, the last girl, I couldn't stand her. Every chance I got, I was like, Bow, when you in love and that toxic shit, and like who, but it's like when she have a bad day or she mad about something, like you dealing with a motherfucking, like you dealing with, like I don't care what you say about Bow. Like full-fledged heart, like that nigga's he's a celebrity. Like I see old white people be like, can I take a picture with you? I saw you on this, I saw you on that, da 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 da. Like, so when you hate on the nigga, make sure your shit straight. Like Bow got his mama living in a very affluent neighborhood in Georgia. Like she good. You know what I'm saying? His daughter, Shasha, you see her, she's good. You know what I'm saying? His son now, now it's come out, he has a son. His son is good. Like, make sure your shit straight. While you hating on the next nigga, like I look at it like we all got somebody in our family that isn't the best. I got a cousin that's a crackhead, okay, but that's still my cousin. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't think like people like want to go so hard on Bow. It's like, do you know what he's been through? Like, as a child, while you was in school, he was on stage.
He was doing grown man shit.
He was like, again, like this nigga took care of his whole family at like 12. Like at 12 years old, like immediately have to take care of your whole family at 12.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like things like that. When I see, Bow Wow, anybody who came up like that, it's like, bro, you can't say shit because you will never understand what it is to be in that position.
Mind frame. Like
never.
Like imagine going out, like imagine being like a prisoner of your own celebrity. Like people think that shit, but like it's not saying he can't do it, but like when you do it, you never know how it's gonna turn out. Like I damn near had a fight in Scottsdale, Arizona. One second. We in Scottsdale, just getting something to eat. Spot called Lolo. We sitting there getting something to eat or whatever. Somebody want to come take a picture. It's a dude. He like, all right, give me a second. I'm on the phone. Like, I'm on the phone. Give me a second. He gonna take it. Dude just standing there. Then like, dude start kind of getting like antsy. I'm like, bro, like, the man is on the phone. Get a man a second. Like, it ain't that, like, especially as a man, like,
what you so pressed for?
What you pressed for to get a picture with it? And then but you want to start talking shit about the nigga after he's telling you, give me a second, I'm on the phone. So you want me to get out the phone to take a picture with you? Like, get the fuck out of here, my nigga. So I was like, so to kind of cut down on certain conflicts, like sometimes he don't even leave his hotel. Like some people, like people don't understand like that shit that they got to go through. Like as a child, like he said he's never been to a barbecue. Like,
that's wild.
You know what I'm saying? So before you start judging somebody, like think about, damn, what they been through. People look at the money side. Yeah, the money is good, but I didn't sign up for me not to have a life. I didn't sign up to where I can't do shit. You know what I'm saying? I signed up to entertain y'all, and that's why when I come outside, I'm still gonna take pictures. I'm still gonna sign autographs. Like anybody that follow me, like we did Dallas. Like come out the club at like 2:30. Some people out there with like pictures and can you sign the memorabilia? He's standing there signing it all in the middle of the street. After all this shit going on with Boosie and Mo 3, he ain't like, nah, get me out of here. He in the middle of the street signing it. People had their kids out there the night before we was in Arlington. We get to the club at 12, some little young white boy, oh my God, I'm such a fan. He's a little kid though. Like you should be in bed at 12:30. But okay, come take these pictures, boom, boom, boom. So it's like he understands his fans. Without my fans, there is no me. But also let me have my me time. Like let me have time when I'm with my daughter. Let me have time when I'm chilling or if I'm having a bad day or whatever. Like give me that space. But people don't like, it's like, nigga, like you owe us. We don't owe you nothing. Like, and so, like I say, that's just the difference in just being with celebrities. It's like So like say people they judge and like I say, but for me, if he was a fuck nigga, I wouldn't fuck with you because I just like it's just not what's in me. Like I was raised on West Airport and Bob White. You know what I'm saying? Like my
On
best
that
friends,
rest.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? My best friends to this day, like, like nigga, we ain't doing that fuck shit. Like it's not that's not accepted, that's not tolerated. So like if he was a fuck nigga, I wouldn't fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? So but as brothers, like, we don't always see eye to eye. We'll get into it. I get into it with Brian. But that's also like they creatives. You know what I'm saying? Like creative space. Like that nigga Brown text me at fucking 6 a.m. Like, nigga, why you ain't sleep? But that's creative. You know what I'm saying? I go to his house. He's just a big kid. You know what I'm saying? He's really just he want to have fun. Like, you know what I'm saying? He still work. He still make his money. He just want to have fun. So it's like, but but like I say, it's the gift and the curse.
Yeah, yeah, man. Before we get up out of here, if there's anything, because like you said, I mean, your situation is different as far as being able to get into the in position to get into the business. But for anybody that may aspire to go into management, because like we said, you ain't gonna always be the artist. You ain't gonna always be the entertainment or the talent, quote unquote. You know what I mean? But just as important is the behind the scenes person. How would somebody?
It's definitely. I mean, not to cut you off, but I mean, that's like without your team, like Puff team, it's everybody's like, one bad situation from your management can fuck up your shit. You know what I'm
Facts,
saying? So,
facts.
and there's no even when you think of like individual sports, boxing, Mike Tyson, when Gus passed away, that's when he lost his first fight or whatever. It's like it's your team, is your nucleus. So it's like it has to be a jail. Like I say, it has to be a family. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just has to be that. And so you have to become, you have to also know what fits you, because I'm not gonna lie, I'll get random calls with different shit and I'll be like, that don't fit me. Like and I don't want to, because also our management also can also hurt you or help you. So I don't want to waste nobody's time on some shit that I don't know nothing about. Like I get this weird shit and I'm like, yeah, I don't know nothing. And I don't want to be rude, but I can help you. Like if you call me about certain shit, I will tell you what I know. I got big homies that I can call. Cause like I'd be like, yo, you know, again, it go back, at one point in time, like when Nelly went diamond, like, T Love and Abby, like that's the management team. So I always call them like, yo, I need your help. Like, how should I do this? How should I do that? You know what I'm saying? Or calling different homies and just like you say, just building relationships to where you can reach out to people and get, you can learn shit from other people. It's constantly a learning process, and it's constantly like learning. Okay, cool, and so and with B Cox, like B Cox is so super clean, like his image, like da da da. I was like, okay, well, cool. Like we need to start doing corporate. We need to start, and Goo really stepped in. Paul. So it's relationships because when grew up with Goo, Brian knew Goo since high school. I've been knowing Goo since back in the Gap. So it's like those relationships, they flourish. I think that's the biggest thing for anybody. Like just relationships. Like I was saying earlier, like just growing up on the West with all those people. Like I'm still cool with Rashard Lewis to this day. I'm still cool with VY to this day. It's relationships. So it's like, and there's no ass kissing. Oh my God, you this. I'm none of that. It's just like it's cool. It's relationships. It's like, and that's how you build, and you continue to be, what you are. And like we said off air, for me, it's like people that just make time. It's like when you make timeless music, it's timeless. You know what I'm saying? To this day, if you drop Be Without You, to this day, if you drop for the 99-2000, nigga, the 99-2000, that was 21 years ago.
Yeah.
And you still play it. Meek Mill's Dreams and Nightmares. That shit is what? However many
Damn near
years
10
old.
years ago at this point.
However
Yeah.
many years old. But if you drop it right now, it's going to be like it's the first day. You go to Live right now, or whenever it's open, when they do that Dreams and Nightmares, that motherfucking confetti start going, the motherfucking
Sirens and all that shit, and it's a rap.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's 10 years old. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it's just like when you make timeless music and you just do stuff like that, it just, that's what. So for me, people that want to be involved with, because back to your original question, the people that want to get involved, like just, learn yourself. Because again, when you somebody else's manager, like you'll lose yourself because now my life is engulfed into you. You know what I'm saying? So know who you are as a person. I'm still Shawn Stovall outside of B Cox, outside of Bow. You know what I'm saying? But I understand what my worth is, but I also know that those are my homies and they got, they're gonna supersede me because who they are. So I'm okay with that. Some people, like, it becomes a jealousy, it becomes, a disconnect, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, but again, I'm real big on brotherhood. I'm real big on, family. Cause again, when I moved, I had one cousin, and that's who my mom's cousin was, and she ended up passing away. So like, I literally had like no family besides my siblings and my little brother. He has autism. He's nonverbal. So I really don't have no brothers. So my brotherhood became my best friends. So like, I'm real big on like that. I'm real big on loyalty. Now, do we fall out? Do we have times we don't like each other? Absolutely. But I just feel like as long as you don't cross certain lines, you can always come back. Like, you can't call me bitches and hoes and hope. Like, I ain't doing them type of conversations, or we can't just be out here fighting and shit. But
Nah.
you
Keep
know,
the disrespect got to be.
So for me, I think so. For me, that's why we don't cross those lines. Like, it's something like, you know what, I might not speak to you, might not speak to me. All right, cool. But then it's a line of respect, and we circle back and we talk about it, and we keep it moving. But I just like, I just think it's that. Like, I think building relationships, knowing who you are, knowing the business, knowing that this is a business. Like, this is a business. Like, so you being prompt, being on time, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, unless you a Puffy, unless you a Drake, unless you one of them where you can do what the fuck you want to do, and people, but like, even then, that's still not cool. Like, cause people are paying you for your time. Like, when you look at contracts, it's like, okay, contractually, I'm supposed to be here this amount of time. So like, do what you got to do, and make it, cause that's like, if you do that, it makes people, want to gravitate towards you, and it makes you, like you said the other day, it's nothing wrong with being used. Like, everybody needs to be used. Like, anybody feel, but it's the misuse is the problem. Like, don't try to misuse me. Like, but use me. Like, use your resources. Like, the other day you called me like, yo, can I get your help to do this? All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about, like, that's what I'm big on. I'm big on, like, yo, let's pull each other, because I might need you one day. You know what I'm saying? I might, hey, Donnie, I need you to, whoop, whoop. All right, cool, I got you. It's never no fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? From the hood, like, Lux Limo, shout out Jamon. Jamon went to high school with me. So like, now he got his limousine company. I'm like, yo, Jamon, you need to get this, this, and this with your Sprinter, because I know for a fact, I done seen Nelly turn some niggas around. Like, yo, we not riding that. So like, yo, it's what you like. So when celebrities, they need this, and you like, yo, you right. Like, you right about that. So it's like, you want to do that. I try to bring the homies up, like I said, like, truck them. If I could help get truck them some business on some security shit. Like, it's all about, you know what I'm saying? It's all about helping each other, but it has to make sense.
Yeah. For sure. Well, man, I appreciate you coming through, man. You got anything else before we get about here?
I think for me, because people always ask me to say, like, man, the biggest question people always ask me, like, how do I feel about it? And like, what's the biggest gift and the curse of my job? And I do say relationships. I think relationships in a good way. Who would have known, like, a little nigga from the West is, doing what I'm doing. Like, just blessed to be around, like, goats. Like, I don't know, like, the whole Big Three thing, last year in Philly or whatever, Bow had something in Atlantic City. So, like, the venue, you got to fly in at, like, these different places, either or, because Atlantic City don't have an airport, so they'll drive you from anyone. So we end up being in Atlantic City. So we end up going to Philly, and we end up having to go to no, we didn't have to, but we ended up going to Philly, and that's when they had the Big Three, and that was AI's final game or whatever. But he did not playing. But like, I used contact. I was like, yo, Bow, I want to go to the game, and we end up getting, like, so I ended up making ESPN, like, for hugging AI. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, because shit like that, like, I grew up on that. Like, I grew up on AI, so like, I'm literally behind Bow. So when Bow hugs AI, like, that's just his next motion. Like, boom, boom, boom. Oh, I'm like, oh, shit, all right. So that shit made, like, ESPN. I'm like, oh, shit, just that. And then, like, All-Star in Chicago last year before the pandemic hit. Like, I'm like, yo, we got to go to Jordan party. We got to go to Michael Jordan party. And so, but we had an event on our own. So, like, we don't know if we going to make it. So it ended up being so late that we wasn't on the list. So, like, Bow called Marcus Jordan. Like, who would have thought Marcus Jordan, Michael Jordan's son, come to the door and come get us? And the staff wasn't acting funny, but they was like, I'm pretty sure, like, people, like, just couldn't get in. They didn't have their name on the list. They was like, yeah, y'all not getting in. But, like, actually watch Marcus Jordan come. They was like, oh, we're sorry, we apologize. We're like, oh, it's all good. Like, we not, I understand, I respect it, but like, to have Marcus Jordan come to the door and get you, and then, like, the free shit that come along with it, like, oh, we get, like, free beats and shit. Like, they sending me beats by Dre to my house, like, shit that I don't even use. Some of this shit, I'm like, oh, okay. But then the curses also relationships, like personal relationships. People feel like you owe them. Like, kind of what Brian said, but Brian shit is way worse than mine. But people feel like you owe them, and then like relationships, like as far as romantic, it's like, can you deal with this? Can you deal with what I got to do? Can you deal with me being around the cheat code, and can you deal with me being around B Cox, which is one of the best to ever do it? Can you deal with that? I've lost relationships because shit that I didn't even do. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's like, okay, cool, but like, you benefit off of my lifestyle because whatever I do, you do, or you get financial benefit of it, but you can't handle it to a certain extent. So for me, it's like, it's the gift and the curse, and but then also another part of it is, this the worst part, bro. I ain't gonna lie. The shit we see, like the shit you just see, bro. You like, it's hard to trust people. It's hard to trust women. It's hard because what you see is like, man, especially now with social media. Like back in the gap, and I think that's a good thing. Like I'm a little older, and you getting there. Like before social media, like you had to actually know this shit. Like you had to know where such and such wanted to stay. But like now, one picture put up, or you at the post op. Like that bathroom, or the bedroom, or this. So it's like you kind of just know what this is. So it's like, man, you see this shit, you like, it's so hard. Like I'm never gonna put people business, but it's like a chick told the homie met a chick in Vegas, right? And they kicked it. It wasn't nothing sexual. They just kicked it, or whatever. But then, like he got her social media, and so he get back to the A, and he looking there, he like, damn, she engaged. But then she on the phone like, yo, I'm gonna come see you. And he like, huh? Like, you about to get married? She like, I'm about to. I'm not married yet.
Cold game.
Or like another time with a chick at the studio, and I'm talking about, so I just be bouncing around. So I'm looking, this chick starts sprinting down the hallway. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with her? She like sprint. I'm like, couldn't find out her boyfriend calling. Her boyfriend FaceTime, so she trying to like run out the room with everybody.
Change the background.
And just go like get in a corner somewhere. And I'm just like, whoa. So like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, like my trust is just very minimal at best. It's just like seeing what I see and just seeing, I'm like, man, like this shit. Because at the end of the day, like celebrities ain't celebrities no more. Like, like social media has really downscaled it, because now you can find out where they're at. You can slide in their DMs. If they like you, I can respond back. So like your crush from, you know what I'm saying? Like that
it's very attainable.
Yeah, your crush ain't your crush no more, because now, yo, boom, boom, boom. Okay, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't what it used to be. You know what I'm saying? So like you can't have a top 5 for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like back, you have a girlfriend like, oh yeah, my top 5 celebrities. Like, nah, you can't have that. Cause like at the end of the day, they my coworkers. For the most part, they my coworkers. And because like my homies are who they are, like my 6 degrees of separation is ridiculous. Michael Jordan, rest in peace, Michael Jackson. That's Jermaine's ex-girlfriend's brother. You name it, like fucking, you name it. The 6 degrees of separation, AI, like Bow talk to Kevin Durant all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like even when you see Drake, what did Drake say? I grew up listening to Bow Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, so my 6 degrees of separation is so small that like you can't, like, it's just not gonna work. Usher, you know what I'm saying? Like Mariah Carey, Mary J. Blige, and like where you want to go with it, like who you want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like who. Like that 6 degrees is so small, so these are coworkers to me. So again, my gift and the curse for me is relationships.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, I can see that being tough, man, because man, they gonna go, man. They get around them celebrities, man. The girl gonna go, man. I ain't
gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna put them out there. But a big homie snatched one out of me. He snatched one out of me cold hard. I say, boy, it's a cold game.
Yeah. Well, it's a part of the game, though.
Yeah. And then, another one. I'm talking about cold blooded. I ain't gonna, but yeah, like and and you gotta call it. But that's the thing. Like you have to be prepared to deal with it. But also you like, man, I don't. Like you're trying to find a diamond in the rough. So it's like, okay, cool. Like I don't want no chick that's no industry chick. You know what I'm saying? I want somebody that's still. But then, can you understand my lifestyle? Like I said, I tell you, a girlfriend I lost. I love Akim in the mix. He put me. Just back in that day before social media, like he was the first one to start putting me on the page. Like that's back when it was only like 3 or 4 pages. So you had to be like somebody. And that's actually what made Bryan start flying him out. So Bryan would fly him to the Grammys. Like Bryan does a Grammy brunch every year. He would fly him to the Grammy brunch. He would fly him to Atlanta for his birthday parties. You know, I mean, I love Houston, but Houston and Atlanta are like night and day. Like even like if you see like the parties, like the weekly parties, like it's never no telling who Atlanta, because people live there. So it's like you have So Def, you have, you know, T.I. and them, you have Ludacris, you have Jagged Edge. Like these people actually live there. So it's like we would bring Akim in, and that would be my job, because Brian's not gonna talk to, not that he wouldn't, but like Brian don't have time to sit down. Akim, give me your information, let me do this. That would be my job. So okay, cool. But so Akim would come in, they'd be like, man, I just saw you in the mix. You was in Atlanta, you was in Miami. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what. But I say it to say like, so relationship lost was the fact that like me and a girl I was talking to, she was a school teacher. So I went shopping one day, boom, 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 and she came with me. Only reason she knew because she went shopping with me, so she saw the shirt I brought. But she would go to bed at like 9, 10 o'clock at night. I wouldn't go out till midnight, so she saw a picture in the mix. And me and the girl were facing each other. I don't know this girl from a can of paint, I swear to God, on my goddaughter. I don't know this girl from nothing. But she was like, you were talking to a girl. I'm like, what? But that's like just the lifestyle. Like you automatically talking to a chick, you automatically, you know, fucking with a chick. And so it's just like, man, so again, it's just a gift and a curse, and, you know, just seeing things like but one thing, I'm gonna tell you another story that threw me off is just as far as a woman. We was in Dallas, bro. I say this was the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. Nah, she probably wasn't, but she was bad
At the time, yeah.
One of the homies was hosting. The homie said like 3 words to her, like nothing. Boom, 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 boom. All right, go sit over there with the crew. She came and sat by the crew, whatever. Boom, boom, boom. He probably came back and checked on her one more time. That was it. We leave the club. She leave with us, but she can't leave with homie. She leave like it's in the crowd with the rest of the people. Next morning I get up. We all in the same hotel. We all like, we started, you know, everybody started going down to the lobby, just meeting up, talking shit, whatever. Boom. I seen that bad motherfucker come downstairs in her last night's gear. I was like, man, like, damn, like you this bad, and this is what, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I'm not mad at you. I'm just like, so, you know, I don't know if she had a dude at home. I don't know what that, you know what I'm saying? But like you get that shot, you might shoot it. So, but yeah, man, like that's just kind of what it is. But I mean, like I said, I love it. You know what I'm saying? You know, you try to find ways to also expand and just branch off and just do different things. But like I like being hands-on. Like I say, it's different. That's another thing. Like just learn different type of management. Like you say, for me, I don't know those songs. I don't know, like I feel like you and Brian are like encyclopedias. I don't be knowing it. So I got like, so some shit I don't even, like I can go to the studio and I'll be like, why y'all doing this shit 100 times? But Brian hears something that I don't hear. You know, like he'd be like, nah, that's not right. I'm like, nigga, you did the same fucking song fucking 100 times. Can we go to the strip club already? It ain't ready. All right, fuck, let me go sit back outside. And now I got everybody waiting on me because they texting me like, where y'all at? Brian's still working, but I can't get mad shit. If you don't work shit, you can't go to strip club and fuck off no money, so.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, that's what it is, man. I appreciate you coming through, man. Chopping it up, bro, for real.
Definitely, I mean, you know, again, I mean, I'm still who I am. I'm still throwing up the West to the death of me. I'm still, you know, Southwest Houston. You know, Houston, I got rep that shit to the death of me. So just for you to have me, you know, like I said, you definitely doing your thing, and we appreciate what you bringing to the city for us. You know what I'm saying? You giving everybody a different, you know, a different scene and letting people learn what, you know, they probably didn't know. And you, like, so everybody has a story to tell. So you actually letting them get this the platform to tell your story. You know what I'm saying? And because you know what you doing, also it makes it a double fold. If you just like again, like we laughed about it, but like this ain't no Vlad shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't nobody trying to. Crazy part, I've had to deal with Vlad too. They've had to call me to get Bow, and Bow texts me like, "Yo, bro, like I'm tired of being at this fucking interview because like it's literally like it's not a, and this is personal. Like that's not the nigga sit behind.
Yeah, no, it's the laptop and then he's talking on speakerphone and shit.
So he'll send his team in, they'll set up, but then they'll start, and it's like, so Bow texting me like, bro, I'm ready for this shit to end. I gotta call them like, yo, y'all gotta cut the interview. Like he's, you know, he ready to go. But that's because, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this doesn't feel like you prying. This doesn't feel like you trying to, like, you want people to get their story out. You want to get people to learn. And, oh, yeah, so even like that, but even like, say, I forgot to shout out Lump. You know, I grew up, like, so it's just crazy how to, you know, Mike Moe, Bellway 8. I was actually there when they made the first Bellway 8 at PV. Like I said, so I have like my hands are in different places because again, I went to college, so I know people that's like, oh, I'm an AK, I'm a Delta, I'm graduated, I went to, I'm this, I'm that. I know people from college days, I know people from, different walks of life. So but again, yeah, I was there when they made the first Beltway 8. I thought I was a little, we was so proud, like nigga, cause that's SUC, you know what I'm saying? So that's like this baby SUC type shit. Like it's the first screw, like we all in Mike Mo house, and it was just a vibe or whatever. So it's just So I mean, so yeah, I've definitely been around a couple of blocks. So I definitely just appreciate you having me, and I hope for people like again that aren't rappers, aren't musicians, but you still have like a urge, to do certain things. That's who I want to speak to. You know what I'm saying? That's who I want to kind of help. I'm never hard to find. So at Shawn 713 VIP on IG. Again, Shawn SHAWN 713. The area code VIP. My name Shawn Stovall, Stovall on Facebook. Like people got questions. I'm always here. Like I say, it's always help the next person. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause without somebody helping me, I wouldn't be where I was at. You know what I'm saying? I've bumped my head, but I'm pretty sure that my bump in my head was a lot less. You know, because of the big homies that taught me and they continue to teach me. You know what I'm saying? It's still a continued conversation that often is had. Like shit that kind of gets above me. I'm like, yo, like I need your help. You know what I'm saying? Like, or like Goo has been more in the Goo is more like on the corporate side. So I'm like, yo, Goo, how should I handle this? What you think I should do? He'll give me his input. Or other people that I value and I trust their opinion. Like, my thing is you got to trust the person that you're talking to. Like, can't anybody just tell me anything. So like, if I trust you, like, hey, I need your help. And so, but I mean, it's it is what it is. Times have certainly changed. Music wise. So it's like trying to adapt to that. Like even like Clubhouse, I'm trying to adapt to that. Like
I'm still trying to learn it, bro.
Yeah, because I'm like some of that shit. I'm like, I don't know if I just want to sit on my phone and like just listen to people talk all day. But some of it is very informative. So it's like, okay, cool. So
yeah,
it's like learning like it's definitely adapting. But some shit, it circles its way around. So relationships, again, I can't say that long enough. Relationships, build them, grow, learn as a person, make mistakes as a person. It's just stuff like that. Building that. Building your own character. Building your own brand. Knowing what your strong points are. I know that I'm strong at this, and this. Okay, so let me lean on that, and that makes me better at this. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's like. If I know I got to be somewhere, like if I got to go early, fuck it, I'm gonna go early. You know what I'm saying? If I got to catch the first flight, if I got to stay up all night, whatever I got to do, like I got to do it. It's my responsibility. Like I'm getting paid for it. So people look at it like, oh, y'all just party, y'all just kick it. Like it's a job. You know what I'm saying? Like these people, they're paying for a product and they expect to receive their product. And in return, you have to give them what they want and what what you've agreed to, and you have to do it right. And that's just. So like you say, learning all of that, and from an artist standpoint, like, picking the right people, like picking your right team. The wrong team had you fucked up. The wrong team had you in jail. The wrong team had you dead. The wrong team would have you stagnant.
That's what I'm gonna say. If nothing else, say you stagnant for sure.
Yes, I mean, the other shit is like we don't want to go that far left with the realm of what that is, but
that's a possibility though. Yeah. But at the least, having you stagnant.
It's stagnant. Yeah. Like what I'm saying. That's why I say people call me. I'm like, I don't want because this is your life. Like people don't saying like this is your life. So like if I don't know what the fuck you talking about, like if I don't know nothing about it, like I don't, it's like I get adrenaline rush like when I do certain deals and certain amounts of money. Be like, nigga, I just did a deal for whoop-de-whoop. Like, nigga, we finna eat and it's finna be, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, it just makes you proud. It makes you build relationships like, oh, okay, shit, okay. So like that's what, it has to be. And like I said, you have to understand, you're dealing with somebody else's life. Like I have to, nigga, you have a bad day, I have a bad day. You know what I'm saying? Like we've all seen Bow on social media when he fucking talked about he want to kill himself at one point. Nigga, I was right there. They called me. Like, yo, where Bow at? I'm literally just rolling over. Like I'm saying, like, so you have to realize your phone ain't your phone no more because now they calling you about somebody else. I get a call, Bow going crazy. Well, because Bow's girlfriend called him the night before. We get back from the club. I go to my room. He go to his room. He having a party room. Boom, not a problem. And she FaceTime. He answers like, yo, we just in there kicking it. It ain't like one-on-one. It's like a whole room of people. It ain't like no one-on-one. I'm just trying to fuck this chick. It's like it's a group of people having a good time. The club is over. Ain't nowhere else to go. We kicking it. She start going off. He like, man, I can't never do right. Cause even like motherfucking celebrities, they want love too. So they're like, damn, I love you. Do. Now did he choose the wrong one? But I still want to love you. So it's like she going crazy. He like, man, I can't never do right. Fuck this shit. I'm gonna kill myself. So I'm asleep. I'm in my room chilling. You in your room. I'm in my room. Cool. I get the call like, where's Bow at? I'm like, he in his room. What's wrong with him? Shit, I don't know. What's wrong with him? You ain't see Instagram yet? I said, no, I'm asleep. I just woke up. Like, you woke me up. They're like, see what's going on? So I get up. I look on Instagram. First thing, it's all like, just the subliminal messages. I use his room key. I go in his room. He in the bed asleep. I'm like, nigga, what's wrong with you? Man, da-da-da. So I said it to say like, so you have to live with other people's lives too. So you have to deal with their ups and their downs. And, when they going through it, when they going through with their baby mama, that affects, this and that. Or, man, I'm upset. I ain't taking no bookings right now. Or this, that, and the third. So you have to just be prepared to deal with somebody else's life, including your own life. You know what I'm saying? That's what you have to deal with. Incorporate that with your own family, with your own this and your own that. So, that's what that is when it comes to that.
Yeah, hell yeah. Man, real quick too, bro. I know whenever the pandemic come, man, I gotta come out there and get down with y'all on that ladies love R&B, man, in the
bro,
A,
you
man.
You ain't said nothing but not even a word. You ain't said nothing. And I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. I don't want to be funny, but I mean, Atlanta's saying what pandemic? So
Yeah.
you ain't gotta even say when that happened. You just say, shit, bro, I'm coming out there. You give me a couple weeks in advance. We put you in the. You niggas already know who you are. Like you done a party with both of them here, so. Between all three of us, like, nigga, we ain't got to ask nobody. We just got to tell us when.
Yeah, hell yeah. Nah, we going to put that shit together for sure. For sure. But, man, I appreciate you coming through, though, bro, for real.
I mean, even for that, because it's an R&B-based party, everybody can't rock that crowd like that. And you can. Like, everybody that went without the wrong pipe. But anyway, being a DJ, everybody can't, do that. Everybody can't, like, everybody got to kind of stick to what they, the sign of the times. Like, can you actually go in and make a real set for that? So, you've already proven that. So, I'm telling you on air, everybody on air, like, you give me the call, hey, just give me a couple weeks in advance, that way I can make sure you get slotted in. Nigga, flights to Atlanta, nigga, that shit is dirt cheap. You catch that shit on that shit, nigga, you catch a fucking, that's why I fly home so much. Catch me on Southwest. I'm from the Southwest. I'm flying on Southwest, and I'm gonna fuck around and get like $110 flight round trip.
Yeah,
Nigga, that's less than gas sometimes. Like, and it ain't nothing but an hour and a half. So man, you there, you back. Come enjoy yourself, spend the night, have a good time, and shit. Do what you do, and that also helps you. That brand, that puts you in a different mode.
Yeah, for sure. Nah, we're going to do that for sure. I mean, shit, the year over, but next year, I'm making that call, and we're going to do that for sure.
You ain't got to do nothing but make a call, homie. It's overstood. You ain't got to say them, but hey, I'm coming in this couple weeks. All right, cool.
And y'all do it every week there, right? It's on Wednesdays, every Wednesday.
It's every Wednesday. And like I said, it's every Wednesday, so you just let us know when you want to do it. Like I say, you've already shown and proven that you can do. We put you on autopilot. Go do what you do. It ain't no questions asked. So shit, if you want to, you start making your own rotation in that motherfucker. Hey, I'm coming, twice a month, whatever, or however, make it where, because like I said, that's just, everybody gets their own energy, their own vibe to R&B. So you bring your own vibe, and that's what makes it, like I saw y'all had Shazam last week.
Yeah.
So and that's kind of what Atlanta is. Like Atlanta is that type, because people gonna pop up. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a pop up here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like such and such might host, and then they gonna bring such and such. And da 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 da. So it's like it's one of those type of things. And because it's such an R&B based party, it's not all the rah rah. You know what I'm saying? It's the laid back shit. It's motherfuckers really singing their hearts out. Like I say, you got dope boys in that bitch, singing at the top of their lungs. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to be in there looking at everybody like, is somebody gonna come try to shoot me tonight? You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, cool, I can come let my guard down. So, like I say, you got the open invite. You always welcome. So, say less and come chill.
That's what it is. Well, hey, man, Shawn Stovall.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Donnie Houston. You know what I'm saying? Thanks you for taking your time out of your schedule for little old me.
Oh, man, come on, man. It was nothing, man. You already know. It's nothing, man. I appreciate you coming through, man. I hope everybody who's watching, man, soaked up something. If you're interested in getting into that management, man, it was a whole lot of gems for you to pick up. You know what I'm saying? If you're watching and you know somebody interested in management, you know what I'm saying? This is definitely the episode where you can, pick them gems up, man. So, hey, it's Donnie Houston Podcast. I'm Donnie Houston. Shawn Stovall. We out.